One of the first hurdles a lot of boxers run into when they start sparring is that they really struggle to take angles. They tell me, they say, "Coach, we spend so much time practicing take angles. We drop stick to angles, slip to angles, punch to angles, feint to angles. We pair lanes and angles, and I've been sparring for months now and I haven't taken a single angle." There are huge time costs to taking an angle. If you think about taking an angle and attacking center line, that's 3 beats of work. Step, step, punch to center line. We talk about lanes. A lane, I can attack as I take a lane. I can attack on that first beat. It doesn't take me 3 beats to attack. I can split the difference here, and I can take a 45-degree angle, which has some of the offensive advantages and some of the defensive advantages, and 1 less time cost, 1 less beat to be able to get your offense started. Helping me out with today's video and lesson will be our athlete, Pat. So let's start with lanes. Lanes are the fastest, but the least defensively sound. If I'm working with Pat and I take a lane, which is just a step to my left or my right, this is still a 50-50 position. If we both throw a 3, we're both in the same position. We're defensible on our open side, and I have the potential to be able to attack on my closed side. I can also attack as I take this lane, which is what allows it to only cost 1 beat. As I step, I'm stepping with my left foot. My right foot is planted if I'm moving to my left, and my cross lane passes through his center line. So I can punch as I step, and then I can worry about recovering this 50-50 position as I settle in. It only takes 1 beat to start an attack from a lane. If I'm taking the deep 90-degree angle, this is the holy grail of positioning in boxing. When I get here, boom, boom, he can't hit me with anything. I'm outside of his cross lane, all right, and I've lengthened his left side hand so far that he can't do much with it, and I've got a huge read time to see it coming. I can attack with either hand high or low at this point, but what's optimal is attacking center line first. So getting my right foot down is needed for me to lever into this initial shot, all right? And that's why it takes 3 beats to get the shot off. I have invested a huge amount of time in being defensively sound, and if I did it correctly, I should be able to haul off and hit hard and hit confidently, but it's a huge time sink to get there. It takes 1, 2, 3 beats to get that shot off, which is why novices struggle with this, which is why when people who are just starting to spar struggle with this, fights are won and lost by somebody getting 3 beats ahead. And it's challenging for somebody who's new to outmaneuver or to think far enough in advance to end up 3 beats ahead on somebody. Our final position here is to take a shallow angle, a short angle. I always like to think a little 45-degree angle. I want to go far enough that I clear my opponent's cross or jab lane, and I've lengthened out their far side hand even though I am still vulnerable to it. I also want to attack off of the foot that I have down first, which is going to be that leading foot. So if I'm going to my closed side angle, this is going to be 1, 2. I can swing my trailing foot around as I punch with my lead leg and my lead side and my lead hand here, because it's not the thing levering up to get me power here. What you're looking for here is you want to get as deep as you can to this angle while still being able to thread a punch with that leading side in between your opponent's guard. So again, if I take this position, if I take a deep 90-degree angle or a greater than 45-degree angle here, when I try to punch off that lead hand, I'm gonna run into his arm. So I don't wanna go this deep. I've gone too far, okay? I wanna put myself in a position where I can get this shot off and I will have cleared his cross lane here. Okay? If he throws from the far side, if I'm being responsible, I got a lot of lead time and I've got this hand up to be able to attack. Everybody loves, they're so married from lanes to attacking center line like this, that it's easy when you start taking these 45-degree angles to get caught. He throws a 2, and I try to structure on contact here as he throws the 3, and then we trade. To avoid that trade, understand what you're vulnerable to where. If he throws the 2, step, punch. But anytime in either of those situations, if he chooses to follow the left hand, I've got traffic that's obstructing this shot. That lengthens that hand. And on top of that, if he throws it, that gets me inside of his defenses to be able to catch and pitch. Boom, boom, boom. Like and subscribe. Boom, boom. This 45-degree angle follows the same rules if I'm going to my open side. If I'm going to my open side, if I step too deep, I run into his arm and I don't get that shot, all right? If I put myself just in a position, bang, where I can thread his center line with my right hand, this is the best place for me to be. My hip and my foot support this strike. If he had thrown his jab, boom, boom, I can come up under his arm. And if he doesn't throw his jab and he hunkers down, then I can just split in between the guard here. In both of these situations, if he follows up with that far side hook, I'm in a position to be able to catch it, and even in a position to be able to return. So earlier I talked about Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson uses this 45-degree angle and uppercut combo all the time, where he clears his opponent's jab or cross lane, he lengthens their far side hook, and he blasts up the center line with that outside hand. I think with Tyson especially, he's trying to take those deep angles, he's trying to get to that dominant position, and you can see when he gets a guy on the ropes, he's able to do that. But one of the curses of being a little pressure fighter, and a scary little pressure fighter at that, like Mike Tyson was, is that fighters are constantly running away from you. Your first line of defense is distance. The easiest way to shut down somebody taking an angle on you is just to step away from that person. If somebody's constantly exiting exchanges, you're not gonna have 1, 2, 3 beats to be able to get a shot off. So Tyson really mastered making lemonade out of lemons here, and when guys would run from him, when they would yield ground from him, when they would create distance, he would get that shot off in 2 beats. Bang, bang. You don't have to be Mike Tyson to make use of this, but you do have to recognize where it's applicable. If you're fighting somebody that likes to open with straight punches, that steps in with straight punches, or if you're fighting somebody who's tall and maybe steps out with uppercuts to try to create distance, then this 2-beat movement is a great way to start your offense. Now remember, by the time you've stepped in and thrown that first uppercut on 45 degrees up this person's center line, you are in the mid distance. You're in an exchange. It's time to keep the pressure on. You need to switch to your high guard. You need to punch in combination, follow this uppercut with a hook. You need to be changing levels and lanes. You need to be attacking the body. This is a good entry to get you there. This is a good handhold to build some momentum, but it doesn't stop until they're flat. Start implementing this in your game so that you too can have success when you fight.